Good evening. It's Sunday the 15th of January and it's time for the news on RIK2. Government spokesman Nikos Christodoulidis has said that a working group due to convene on January the 18th to hammer out security arrangements for a post-settlement Cyprus will meet for 2 to 3 days only at the Swiss resort of Montpellerin. The crucial meeting will be followed by another round of high-level UN-brokered reunification talks with no set time frame. Talks in Geneva last week failed to produce a breakthrough, but the three countries, which are guarantors of the divided island, Britain, Greece and Turkey, agreed to set up the working group to look at security arrangements, since these are a major sticking point. The working group will be made of technocrats from all countries involved. Cyprus is divided since a 1974 invasion by Turkey, which still maintains thousands of troops in the breakaway north. There are also unsettled issues on redrawing the boundaries between the two sides, settling property disputes, and on how to co-govern. The Greek Cypriot side seeks abolition of the guarantor system with a right of intervention, but Turkey insists on maintaining that anachronistic role even in a reunited EU member Cyprus. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has provocatively said that a total pullout of Turkish soldiers from the island is not possible. President Nikos Anastasiadis has spoken on the phone with Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras following the Geneva conference on Cyprus, which took place on Thursday. The two have discussed the outcome of the conference and the strategy they will follow in the coming period. And informed sources said they both agreed on the need to effectively utilise the impetus of the negotiations. The conference decided to establish a working group at the level of deputies with the task of identifying specific questions as regards guarantees and security and the instruments needed to address them. The group will commence its work on January the 18th at Montpellerin, Switzerland, and the conference will continue at political level immediately after to review the outcome of the working group's discussions. In parallel, the negotiations on outstanding issues in the other chapters will continue between the two sides in Cyprus. After a record inflow of water over the past couple of weeks, the Argaga Dam in Paphos last night reached its full capacity of 950,000 cubic metres. It is the second dam in Paphos that has overflowed, the first one being that of Pomos. At the same time, Water Department officials are expecting the Aya Marina Chrysochous Dam, again in Paphos, to also reach full capacity within the next couple of weeks. Rain is more than welcome in Cyprus, where in mid-October the water levels in reservoirs were dangerously close to those experienced during the 2008 drought. Poland has officially welcomed the deployment of the 3rd Armoured Brigade combat team from the US under a planned NATO operation to beef up its Eastern European allies. As expected, this vexed the Kremlin, which said the troops' presence in Poland is a threat to Russia. The largest US military reinforcement of Europe in decades of around 2,700 troops out of 3,500 planned arrived there on Thursday as part of Operation Atlantic Resolve, aimed at showing Moscow Washington's commitment to its allies. Poland and the Baltic former Soviet republics requested US and NATO troops after Russia's annexation of Ukraine's Crimea Peninsula in 2014, fearing further military operations in the region by President Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin, which has previously criticized NATO for its reinforcement in Eastern Europe, has described the deployment as an aggressive step along its borders. Iraqi special forces have battled Islamic State militants inside the Mosul University campus in a second day of fierce clashes in the complex, and also discovered chemicals used to try to make weapons. Counter-terrorism service troops had gathered in the university canteen as they unfurled a map of the area. A suspected Islamic State drone flew overhead and they shot at it. The Iraqi forces also found chemical substances IS had used to try to make weapons. The United Nations says the militants seized nuclear materials used for scientific research from the university when they overran Mosul and vast areas of northern Iraq and eastern Syria in 2014. Islamic State have used chemical agents including mustard gas in a number of attacks in Iraq and Syria. And now a look at tomorrow's weather. It will be mostly cloudy with possible local light rain and snow or sleet over the highest peaks of Troodos Mountains. Winds will be light northeasterly to southeasterly force 3, picking up to moderate in the afternoon force 4, and the sea will be slight to moderate. Temperatures will rise to 15 Celsius inland, 17 in coastal areas and 6 over the mountains. The depth of snow is 85 centimetres on Mount Olympus and 75 centimetres on Troodos Square. That's all for today. Join us tomorrow for more news in English. Have a very good evening.